Governor, I want to ask you about the Epstein files because they have dominated the headlines lately. And I want to ask you about this because, among many other things, it does bring up some issues about trust in the American system. I think Americans are united in their disgust of what they have learned in these files. How do elites and institutions and the government rebuild Americans' trust in the system?
I think these files are sickening. And with every new piece of information that comes out, it's even more grotesque and offensive. I think there needs to be accountability for what happened as to why it took so long for people to get an understanding of just the depth of this heinous behavior. And frankly, I think there needs to be accountability. I think part of the reason, if I think there needs to be accountability for anybody who was in those files, and I do not care. I think if you are found guilty of doing these horrific things to these children, I do not care your background nor political affiliation. Justice has to be served. And justice has to be served for these little girls. The people who their lives have been shattered. And so I think part of the reason, part of the break of trust that people have is they're like, we've known about these things for a long period of time. And how many people have gone to jail for it? How many people have been arrested?
A woman, Ghislaine Maxwell.
One person. How many people have even been questioned? So I understand the frustration. I have it too. Because the lack of accountability, the lack of transparency, and frankly, the lack of justice that we have seen from this has been staggering. And so I stand with the many, many Americans who say there needs to be accountability for what happened to these children. And I don't care where it leads, and I don't care who is responsible. If you are a person who's found guilty of these heinous actions, you must meet justice.